Are you an athlete or adventurer aspiring to be the next, say, Charles Lindbergh, Alex Honnold, or Sir Edmund Hillary? If so, it's probably safe to say that to be the best, you need the best, guys. The best training, the best support, the best diet, and of course, the best equipment. And among that, it would be remiss if you didn't have some kind of accurate and feature-packed GPS activity tracker that can survive your spills and mishaps, and one that can go weeks between charges, so you can just focus on your mission. This, my friends, is the COROS VERTIX 2. It's much improved in almost every aspect over the first gen, and is pretty much industry leading at what it does. As long as you can handle the size, that is. That's what I said. Yes. But anyways, let's do this review. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you like where this is going. Let's do it after these messages. That way. So here is the VERTIX 2, and let's hit some high-level specs and take a closer look at the watch as we go. So since we're in the highest end multi-sport watch category here, guys, the price will set you back, and get ready for this and hold on to your pants, $700.
Say what?
There are two colors available, lava and this one, obsidian. And the straps are also hot swappable if you like. They come in way more color options than that. Front and center, there's a 1.4 inch 64 color LCD touchscreen protected by a piece of synthetic sapphire glass with an anti-reflective coating. It has a hardness of 9 moles, by the way, in case you're wondering, which is 1 moles less than a diamond. That's pretty darn tough. Battery life is 40 to 43 days of regular use. You definitely don't get that with Wear OS devices or Apple Watches, which in this case for me has consisted of continuous heart rate tracking, sleep, and notifications all turned on, plus a 145-minute non-GPS workout per day. Now, GPS, which is one of the main things of this watch, is communicated through all 5 main satellite systems and in 2 different frequencies. This is really rare, guys, and you can choose how you want to set that up. And this is to improve coverage in dense forests or canyons or in places with very limited view of the sky. Now, back to the battery life on this. If you have standard GPS running, battery life is about 146 hours based on my calculations. That's about 5+ days straight. Now, if you have all 5 satellite systems turned on, I can get about 80 hours plus. And with all 5 and dual frequencies on, you're looking at 45 hours. That's pretty darn amazing. Now, connectivity. We have Bluetooth 5.0 and Wi-Fi for those frequent firmware updates. And there's also 32 gigs of onboard storage, and you can play downloaded music files, by the way, with connected earbuds. So this casing and the bezel, which doesn't rotate by the way, are made of titanium alloy. This thing is super tough. It's supposed to outlast you, and just the build quality is spot on. It's really well put together. We mentioned the glass earlier, and this thing is pretty much scratch resistant unless you scratch it with a diamond or any kind of surface with silica. The buttons are also knurled right here, at least the main control buttons. There are 3 of them that control the device, and you can orient them whichever way you like. Left side and just rotate the screen. It's really easy thing to do. So the main control button serves as a scroll wheel as well as a push button. The top one activates backlight, just maximum brightness if you like it, or if you long press it, it activates a customizable function. The bottom one, I'm not sure if you can see this, it cycles through various info on the watch face right there, or if you long press it, it pulls up what they call the toolbox. On the left side here, front and center, is the barometric sensor, and on the back here is your usual fitness array of sensors. The heart rate sender units, the 3 of them flank the receiver right there. They kind of offset, but it doesn't affect performance. And the oximeter, pulse oximeter, and ECG sensors are right here as well. And the ECG, by the way, measures heart rate variability, or how your body responds and recovers from activity strain, if that matters to you. This thing weighs 88 grams. With the strap, of course, 26mm silicone nylon band, very soft, very supple and grippy. But overall weight distribution, I can maybe wear this for 2 or 3 days straight, not have a problem, just maybe take it off for a shower or something. But this thing spreads its weight out pretty darn well, leaving very little imprint on your wrist. At the back here, you can see the quick fit mechanism. It's proprietary. You just press this button to unlock it from the bar. Thickness is 16mm. Yeah, pretty darn thick. Water resistance is 100 meters. Now, in terms of the watch UI as well as the COROS app itself, I've gone into way more detail about these in my recent COROS page. I'll link it up above here, COROS Page 2 video. You can check it out if you like. And I'll talk about some highlights or standouts for this watch right now. So in terms of scrolling speed and just overall performance, it's much faster now with a little bit faster processor, more RAM, very similar to the COROS Page 2. And overall, the colors are decent. They're not the brightest. It's an LCD display at the end of the day, and I'll talk more about this later on. But in terms of workouts, there's been a couple of additions. Multi-pace pitch is the latest one. This is really effective. This is for climbing, by the way. And it doesn't just measure your ascent. You can also track your approach as well as descend. And after you complete each pitch, you can also grade it depending on YDS or French style. You can grade it. It's really darn effective, really helpful and useful. And not to mention all their usual marathon or running training. It's so amazing what it can do and what it can track here. Now, back at Toolbox here, it also can track. Let me try to find the camera icon right there. If you have an Insta360 camera, you can use this as a remote. And back at navigation, yes, like these kind of watches where you need to go offline a lot. If you download your GPX files, it has a zoom range of 50 feet all the way to 200 miles. One thing that's new to the Vertix 2 is a touchscreen, but one thing that they don't tell you is it doesn't work on every screen either. It's kind of incongruent where it's implemented, because here I can't swipe or anything like that. So if I go down to my daily, fitness data, I can't scroll here either. I can't swipe it. But once I enter in any of these ones, I can swipe to do it. So it's kind of weird. It doesn't tell you that it's doable. I can scroll it as well with a scroll wheel. And back out here, I can't swipe anymore. It's so weird. I don't get it. Two of the Vertix's major strengths lie in its accuracy and battery life combined. I mean, almost a month and a half of regular use. That's just nuts to me. It just blows my mind. I mean, this is a watch you can take on an expedition or an ultra marathon, turn everything on, and not have any kind of battery anxiety whatsoever. I mean, think about this. Even if you tracked an activity for an hour with all 5 GPSs connected to a minimum view of the sky type of environment, that's battery sapping, mind you, the battery life or the battery drain still beats out 95% of the smartwatches out there. And in terms of data collection, I found that the Vertix tracks consistently and accurately, pretty much in line with other COROS watches that I've tested. And for example, I took it and the latest TicWatch Pro 3 Ultra on a few 3-mile hikes. And the COROS not only locks onto the GPS way before I even step out of the house, but it's only about 25 to 30 meters off from my actual distance, while the TicWatch was about, get this, 320 meters off. The strong feature set that I raved about so much in the COROS Pace 2 applies here too. Customizable and trackable training plans? Check. Race prediction and recovery? Check. Cadence, stride length, and running power? Check. Open water swimming mode? Check. And oh, this one, unique to the Vertix. How about built like a tank? Check. So I messed around with COROS's customer/tech support, like send them a question to see how quickly I got a non-automated reply, right? And it took a grand total of, get this, 11 hours before I heard back. That's pretty fast. Yeah, Garmin right now can't even touch that. Those guys take 2 to 3 days to do the same thing. And speaking of support, it seems like COROS engineers really enjoy fixing bugs, like a lot, and dropping new features as well through firmware updates, more often than I can even say, is it Christmas again? Alright, I didn't bring this up earlier in the close-ups because I felt that this particular item deserves its own mention. So if you've been watching this video for the past few minutes, you probably noticed this gray box right here sitting on my desk. Well, this is actually the case the Vertix ships in. Yes, that's pretty crazy, right? But the idea is, once you start using the watch, you can repurpose this whole thing for another use. Like say if you go on a trip, you can actually lock your keys or your wallet in here. Yes, it has a clasp lock. It's grippy to hold right around here, and it's weather sealed as well. And again, it's built like a tank. I think this goes without saying, this watch is heavy and thick. And I know some of y'all like it that way, if you know what I'm saying, yes. But in this case, you really do feel that large battery cell in here. I think, if I remember correctly, 557 milliamp hours, particularly when you swap this one out for your smaller, lighter daily driver. And did I also mention that this gets caught in clothing a lot, especially this large center button right here. If you're wearing a long sleeve jacket that is not nylon, if you try to pull it up, it gets caught almost every single time. Probably my least favorite bit on this watch is the sorry excuse of a touchscreen. I'm not sure who at COROS decided to allow touch gestures only like in random places throughout the UI, because I never know which screen has it and in what capacity. And in the end, I just end up using the scroll wheel. I seem to remember that even the lowly Amazfit bip possessing a brighter, more colorful LCD than this guy. I have a feeling it's due to some light diffusion through the sapphire glass. I'm just guessing here. But nevertheless, two things. I wish this had a punchier display indoors. Outdoors and under direct sunlight, by the way, this thing is fantastic, but indoors would be nice. And perhaps also give users the ability to adjust their own brightness or contrast. This last one is less of a negative and more of a comment, but as powerful and amazing as the Vertix is, I think that sadly, not many users will ever access all its features or even push it to its fullest capabilities or limits for that matter. So to me, it just seems like a lot of your hard-earned cash, the $700, going to waste. I'll be honest with you, $700 is a lot of money, especially when you compare it with the cheaper competition like the Phoenix 6 Pro or the Sunto 9 Barrel. They all have their pros and cons. But I will say that for those of you who prize data accuracy and consistency in varying sports in challenging environments and want toughness along with extreme battery endurance, this might be all the watch you ever need. Plus, if you multi-pitch climb or trek in gorges or valleys where GPS is a mess, this is currently the only watch in the market that's got you covered. And yes, I do wish it was a wee bit thinner, had a punchier LCD, and a much better implementation of a touchscreen than this piece of crap right here. So with all that said, I'm gonna give the COROS VERTIX 2 a GearUP score of 8.5 out of 10. And this is how I broke it down to get the final score. If you have any questions about it, feel free to comment down below. As they say in my home country, Malaysia, terima kasih for watching. And if you found this video interesting by any means and would like to see more, subscribe down below, guys. In fact, I'll wait for you to do it right now if you haven't already. It's right down there, right next to the notification icon. You can turn it on as well to get notified. It's right there. Just click it. Yes, you know you want to. And also share GearUP with people you know. If you like to see me at 50,000, 100,000 subs, the only way to do it is ask them to subscribe and reshare it. Yes. And also check me out on Patreon down here for other ways to help financially. And remember to thumbs up if you like this video and comment nicely down below. That's super important stuff. And thumbs down. Thumbs down to people who thumbs down my video. I mean, why would you do that? I make perfectly watchable content for the most part. Oh, what? You don't like my... You can't say that here. That's racist. YouTube will flag you. Oh, you meant face, not race. You don't like my face. Well, then I understand that because even my mom, I'm 44, my mom still whacks my face when she sees me. She's like, what did I do to deserve this? My dad looks away too, like in disapproval. So yeah, I don't mind if you don't like my face. Yeah, thumbs down all you want. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this, guys. Remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world because guess what? The world needs it more than ever and it starts with you. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode. Peace out. God bless.